Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to get free leads using Zillow, Facebook, and Craigslist. Let's get to it. I'm Terrence Slade, and welcome to my channel, Real Estate from Scratch, where we talk all things real estate. Now, and as a fun disclaimer, I do like to say I am not a YouTuber. I actually am a everyday real estate investor and wholesaler. And I greatly appreciate it if you go down and hit that like and subscribe button for me. It does help the YouTube algorithm push all this great free content out to those who are in need of it. And if you have any questions about any content that I do cover, just please leave that down in the comment section below. Or if you'd like to see me cover some content, please drop that down in the comment section below, as I'll be addressing all of that stuff that pops up. Other than that, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the video. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into Facebook. Couple cool things. This is my personal Facebook page, obviously, but when it comes to Facebook, has a couple of cool ways that you can find properties and dispo, which means short for dispositions or selling the properties, that you can use. One of those is groups, and we'll jump right in and show you how to use the groups, as well as the marketplace. And I'll kind of show you a little brief tutorial on how to use the marketplace as well. And you can use both of those to find properties or sell properties. So it's kind of cool part about Facebook. So when it comes to the groups, obviously, depending on if you're a part of groups or not, we're going to come over here and I'm going to show you what my groups kind of look like here a little bit. Let's go ahead and click on see all groups. Let that load up there. And then go up right here and just search for groups and just type in something like real estate. Hit that enter. And we'll see what loads here. All right, so these are the top two. It kind of low up for me right now. Let's click on see all, and you can type in real estate, you can type in wholesaling, you can type whatever you're looking to, whatever terms you think might work best for you. But those are some pretty good easy topics you can kind of search for, and you'll get a plethora of groups that you can join in. So and I'll show you kind of a quick little tip that you can go right in here, and let's just go. I'm just log in this. I've never been in this one, so let's just go in this one here real quick. We'll go and visit the group, just kind of get this chance to see what this kind of looks like here. So, and you kind of get through, and then some groups may make you join first or not, but we'll just kind of go here. People sharing a little stuff about themselves. So, and what's going on with them. But when it comes to using the group, and when you join each group, one of the things that each group may have different rules when it comes to posting properties or interacting with other people within the group. So just be aware of those rules. Usually a lot of times they'll kind of tell you. So here, like right here, you have about the group, and it'll kind of tell you right here what you can and can't do and that kind of thing here as far as group. So only members who do this in the group can see things. So you can kind of look right in there and kind of see what's going on there. Cool thing that I like to show right here is the search tab. Now, what this search tab is, this allows you to see everything in a group. So instead of just going through and just endlessly scrolling, you can go right here and just click the search option. Cool thing is, and you can go right here and just type in cash buyer. So we'll just go in, type in cash buyer, hit that enter button there. And then exactly here, this is what you're going to have come up. So anybody who has posted anything about a cash buyer, you can see that right there. So that's kind of a cool thing right there. So need cash buyers, drop, DM your sitter. And then you see right here, that's got 130 comments. So it's kind of a cool thing right there. So you, without even doing too much, you can go right in here. I'm going to click on this real quick. And you can see right here, this person's here is in North Carolina, Columbus, Georgia, Atlanta. So you get to see all of that right there with the group. So that's one way you can find your buyers, also your sellers. So you can also use this to search for properties for as well. So if you depending on what you're kind of doing right there. So so that's how you would use. That's in my opinion how you would use the Facebook groups as well as the the groups as far as finding properties and selling properties here. So obviously if you drop a property in there, trust me, people are going to come right to you. All you got to do is drop information here, and people are going to come and comment on your property. And and you can just type in as simple as as they say, hey, looking for cash buyers. And trust me, you got a property going to do it. You can actually go in some groups, they'll allow you to drop the property right in there as well. So you just have to maybe drop a picture of the property. Obviously, I personally would not put the address. All I would do is maybe just put some general information like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, city, state, maybe square footage, your asking price. And if you know the roundabout repair amount, because I always tell people, take my repair number with a grain of salt, but you can use that there. Now, pro tip, if you're trying to guesstimate you got a property, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't seen it, and a quick, dirty way of being able to, and this kind of will change depending on the cities, but for the most part, if you know you got a property that needs minor work, let's say it's 1,000 square foot property, you can take that 1,000 square foot property and multiply it by, if it needs a little work, maybe you can do $10 to $15 a square foot. If it needs moderate amount of work, maybe carpet, paint, some new trim, things like that, maybe you can go up around $25 dollars a square foot, $20 to $25 dollars a square foot. And if you know it needs a pretty decent sized job, then you can probably go up to $40 a square foot. Now, if it's just kind of you just got to scrap the whole project, go down to the bare bones and start all over, then yeah, that number jumps a little higher. You're probably talking about $70, $80 a square foot. So those are just some quick little numbers you can kind of take if you want to tell somebody the true numbers. And I'm going to be honest with you, when you go into these groups, try to be as honest as you can about the numbers you're putting out there, because trust me, there are some experienced people and they might jump into your property. Like, don't go put up a tear down and say, hey, it only needs $20,000 worth of rehab. So just a little pro tip there. Don't get kicked out the group before you had a chance to really have a good time in the group. Now let's bounce on over to Marketplace here. And let's see what we have here. And then when it comes to Marketplace, again, you can just you can search rentals as well, because sometimes within the rental properties, sometimes these sellers will be looking to sell, and you can just obviously put in your criteria here, city, state, and that kind of thing. Obviously, me being in Atlanta, so you'll see a bunch of properties there for rent. So you can also reach out to those potential sellers, owners, because they probably looking to, they obviously don't live there, and maybe they're looking to potentially sell their properties. And when you're introducing yourself to these people, be real careful. Make sure that they're actually the owner, because some of these people might be the property manager, might be a real estate agent. So just make sure you're actually talking to the actual owner, and try to get around those gatekeepers and see if you can find the sellers. Now, other than that, you can also do quick searches as well, and search for things like handyman special. We can go handyman, and don't do handyman services, but it'll pull up anybody who wants to fix anything, but handyman special. And let's see what pops up here. So you can see people with handyman special still putting in properties, but there you go here. You got one property here that shows up, a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house right there. They're asking $75,000 for it. Let's just click on this one and just go right in, and let's just take a quick look around. 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's obviously the address. A little bit of a description here, sold as is, so you kind of knowing exactly what you're kind of getting into. And then a lot of times, and then that'll be the actual person who's selling it. And so you can click right here for the seller details. And that'll let you know, that puts up their information here about who they are. And looks like they got some other items that they're selling. And then you can view their profile or send them a direct message and ask them more information about that property. So that's one cool way to use Facebook to find properties as well. That's just using handyman specials. That's actually, one good term you can use. You can also go in with another good term here. You can also go in and search. Let's go back here. I went out too far. Let's go back in here. And let's go down with Fixer Upper and see what we get here. And we get a plethora of properties that pop up, but have that at some point here in the description, somebody wrote Fixer Upper or something like that. So you see here, you get a lot of properties here. And again, you can always go by price range and kind of mirror out what you think will kind of fit your profile of what your buyers are looking for. But definitely, this is one cool way that you can kind of use Facebook here and go in and post here and look around. And I mean, there's going to be plenty of properties here that you can go in. So then this here is in Alabama, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 80,000, asking 80,000. And obviously these are all asking prices. So you can obviously definitely negotiate. And this person gave a little bit better description. Oh, nope, not really. This is what they do. Oh, and they're willing to do actual possible owner financing. If you can put down $10,000, and they have a tenant that's in there until the end of February. So these are the kind of deals you can go in. That's just off the whim. And these are the kind of properties you can go in and find here on Facebook. So, and with that being said, you can do the exact same thing. So let's say you have a property. You see what they just did. They put their property out here on Facebook. You can go literally right in and do the exact same thing. Post your property. Ideally, have more pictures than this. And another pro tip: if you can't get out to the property and see it yourself, and take your own picture, because ideally, what I like to do is go out there with a simple camera phone, turn it horizontal like this, put your camera on, walk through the house on record. And if you have a decent phone, a lot of times it'll let you take pictures while you're walking through the house and get a ton of pictures and have video as well, because some people like to see video. And then I'll upload them to a Dropbox, send that Dropbox to link to any of my investors. So then that way they can actually don't necessarily have to go out to the house to look at it, or I don't waste my time with an investor that hasn't already seen the property. So that's just, again, another little pro tip for you right there when it comes to getting pictures. Also, with that being said, let's say you're doing this remotely. Reach out to the seller, tell them to do the exact same thing, take pictures for you. And then with Dropbox, another tip for you. If you go into Dropbox and go under, I believe it is request, it will allow you to create a folder, and you can name that folder whatever the property address is, and you can send that link to the actual seller to their phone, and all they got to do is click it, and it'll allow them to upload any of the photos and video that they take of the house. So then now all you have to do now is take those pictures and stick them right up here on Facebook as well. And ideally, try to have multiple shots. Don't do the one outside picture, because obviously an investor, anybody that you're asking to spend money with you, they want to see more than one photo. So try to get a video if you can. And ideally, I try to have my sellers take at least 2 to 3 pictures of every room. So if so I tell them if they're gonna take a picture of the house, walk through the house with their they don't have to do video, but if they can, great. But take 2 to 3 pictures from different angles of the room, and click the link that I'm going to text you, and it'll upload the link right there, and you're pretty much good to go. So hope that was informative for you, and let's move on to the next. All right, guys. So now we're over here at Craigslist. And so one of the things that Craigslist used to be really hot and popular back in the day. However, it has not gone away. It's just a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people don't teach it anymore. It's like it's become this relic thing. That being said, plenty of deals still go down here inside of Craigslist. So do not sleep on Craigslist. That's to find your opportunities. That's also to sell your opportunities. Now, 2 different ways of obviously doing that, much like the Facebook platform. So when it jumps over here, let's just do this real quick. So when it comes to, you just go in here on the housing, pretty much, and there's 2 different places you're going to do this. So the first place, if you want to go find houses, real estate for sale. We'll let that load up here. And then much like Facebook, you're going to use simple terms like fixer upper, fix and flip, wholesale. Well, I want to use wholesale, but more or less handyman special, things like that somebody who has a house that needs some extra love and attention will put into their the description, so that you can find the properties a lot easier. So, and the one thing I like about Craigslist as well is it does give you some options where you can sort by whether the person is the property owner, the agent, or the broker. Now, obviously people can lie, so take some of that with a grain of salt, but you can at least, for those who are being honest about it, you can at least kind of scale past them. So ideally, you just want to search for those who are actually the owner. And then with that being said, you can, if you got a price range or location, obviously I'm in Atlanta, so you can change that information right out there. How many beds, bathroom that you're looking for, you can search that. That's one of the ways you can search there. And at the end of the day, like I said, come up here and maybe put in, uh, 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 let's go with fixer uppers. Already, somebody's already searched that, so let's just do that. And much like Facebook, you'll see right here, you already got some properties that are already talking about it. So, and this one right here is kind of trying to sell you on it right now. Let's see here. They're asking 255,000. So we'll just make this one real quick. So as you can see here, they gave, and they did the right thing here. And like I said, instead of having that one photo that some of these other people do, they have a couple of photos because at the end of the day, you want to be able to give an investor the opportunity to see if this is something that they even want to take a peek into. So you can tell this is definitely a fixer-upper and not something that needs to be torn down. So, and then they give a little bit of light description here, and where they're also selling, this is what they believe the property to be, well, this is what they're asking for and what they believe the property to be worth fixed up. And you'll notice they left off the rehab price, and that's okay. That's personally okay to just leave that off and just do this. It does look more professional, in my opinion. If you do leave that, trust me, if the right investor is interested, they're going to call you and just go out there, and the right investor knows how to get his own numbers, probably from looking at this or going out there with his own contractor anyway. So the only thing that you need to do is be able to get him access to the property. So what you'll want to do is show, okay, you can right here, show contact information. So if you want to contact this person here, which we might believe to be the owner. All right, so this here is going to give you their information. All right, they say no text, so they're asking don't text them, just pick up the phone and call for information. So when you're calling these sellers, biggest thing you want to do is, get descriptive on the property, act like ultimately you are the buyer. So, because technically you might do a double close, or technically you actually might be. So when you're reaching out to them, just reach out to them and just say, hey, yeah, I'm inquiring about your property. I see here you got it for sale. Are you the owner? And is it still available? Just get those right off the top and then say, tell me a little bit about the property. And they'll let them tell you about the property. They'll tell you what kind of repairs they think it might need. They'll give you the description, how long have they owned it? Because another thing that you want to do is ask enough questions, because what you do want to do is make sure you actually are talking with the owner, and honestly, not another wholesaler or anything like that. And it's okay to talk, if you're talking to a wholesaler, maybe you guys can co-venture. So that don't allow that to be a deterrent, but just so you know who you're speaking with, ask enough questions so that way you guys can be on the same page as to how you guys can actually work together. So that'll be how you can find some of your properties right there. Now, let's say you found a property on Facebook, and maybe you want to list it on Craigslist, or maybe you found it somewhere else and now you want to list that property. Well, hey, let's just go back to the main page here. Now I'll show you exactly where you want to go. So when it comes to real estate for sale, that's where you're going to go to search. But when it comes to housing, you're going to go up here to housing offer. Let's see, housing wanted. So you go right there to housing wanted. And actually take that back. That's actually my mistake there. So you're actually going to come back out of here. And where was that at? Again, that was not, is that under, actually the thing that was housing wanted. So housing wanted. And then you're going to go, and actually that's right, that back. When you go to post, so you go right here, go to post. When you go to post, select your city. That might have just say Atlanta for right now. And then you're going to choose housing offered. That's what you're doing here. And then you're going to select real estate by owner. So, and then this is where you're going to go and you're going to determine, put in all your information here about the property. And again, my personal thing, especially if you're not the one who, since you're just a wholesaler and you're probably wholesaling this property, do not put the full address in any of these properties. So you can put the street address, but leave off the street number. So if this is 123 Main Street, the only thing you need to put on these websites is Main Street Atlanta and the zip code and all the pictures that you have of the property. Don't put in 123 Main Street. And main reason why, unfortunately, there are some people who don't do this business with ethics. So what'll happen is, instead of them just picking up the phone and calling you, or let's say they pick up the phone and they do call you and they think that, oh, he's just a wholesaler, they'll hang up, they'll skip trace this property and go and find the owner, and they'll just go right around you. So just a little pro tip there. I wouldn't do it. Don't put the full address, but be very descriptive. Get all the information you have about the property. Put that right up on there. And one of the reasons you want to put as much information on these properties as possible, and you can go to your public websites, like the county website. If you can't get all this information from the seller, you can find a lot of information on Zillow. You can find a lot of information on the public websites, like, go to the county's tax assessor site, put the address in. You can get a lot of information there, and put a lot of the information on there. How many bedrooms, baths, a decent description of preferably the house and of the area if you can have it, and then put all the information on there. And the reason you want to do that is you want to eliminate you want to be a seller to be able to take you seriously up front, or take the property seriously up front. So when they go and they click on your property, they see all this information. A real buyer will know if this fits his profile immediately. So you should only be getting calls from those people. You don't want to be having a bunch of calls from people asking you, hey, how many bedrooms, how many baths, what's the square footage, what's this? You don't want to waste your time with those calls. The only calls you want to be accepting are the calls from what you deem to be an actual buyer. So other than that, again, that's Craigslist. Hope that helps. Let's go on to the next. All right, guys, and thanks for hanging out with me. And lastly, we go over to Zillow. And again, there's two ways you can pretty much use Zillow as kind of like Craigslist. You can find the sellers, and you can find and you can actually obviously put the properties on Zillow, list your property on Zillow. People don't really use that. It's kind of a little pro tip you just got from me. You can list the property on Zillow as well. But you can go on Zillow and find sellers and renters, people or properties that are up for rent. So, and when it comes to finding the sellers, and we'll go right here, let's just type in the city, and let's just go here, Atlanta. That's where I am, for sale. And then you can, and again, like with most of all the other platforms, you can go in here and select your bed, bath type, home, home property type. So me personally, I try to stick with only single family. So you can do land. Now you gotta be a pro on the land. So that's a totally different thing. But I don't really like to deal with apartments or logicators. So you can kind of condense a lot of the stuff that you're going to be looking at by simply we'll just go ahead and deselect all, make my process a lot easier. Let's just go with deselect all. You can go with houses. Well, let's see if it's going to let me do it. So got a little bit of a delay here. Let's go ahead. There we go. And let's see here. Got a little bit of a lag here, but hold on for me one moment. With that being said, let's go ahead. Come on. Still loading. Got a lot of properties loading. Deselect all. And it might be the fact that I also have, this recording going on along with all this at the same time. But anyhow, houses. Now, personally, I would select land, but I would say for you, I probably wouldn't start there. So work your way up there to start before you get there. But houses for sale, townhomes. A lot of investors want single family houses. So if you want to put that in your criteria, you can. And condos, those two are kind of a niche market more for investors, but I would probably just stick with the single family. And then again, you can go in here and then ultimately what you're trying to do is find things that are actually off market. So you actually only want to find properties that are for sale by owners, not being listed by agents. That is a thing that you can do. But again, that's kind of a next level skill thing to be able to flip houses that are actually on market. That is actually a thing. You can actually flip that. So in order to do that, well, that's a whole other video, whole other thing. But long story short, that requires a whole different skill set to kind of do that, just kind of putting that bluntly. So, and then you'll see here, instead of scrolling through all those houses you'll see here, we can go here by owner. So that's under that more tab. So we'll just go straight to owner and then hit that apply button. And so ideally now you should be able to go in here and see just properties that are for sale by owners and be able to click on these properties and go right through. And then now, and just be able to go through these properties here, figure out which ones might look like a fixer-upper. This here looks like a fixer-upper to me. And if you want, you can heart these things to save them for later. And then when you go into them, we'll just click on this one here. A lot of times it should have the actual owners and contact information in there for you. Looks like this one might be going up for auction potentially. I say potentially because it's not always the case. Sometimes the data on there is incorrect. And so here, yep, this is up by auction.com. So it looks like this one actually might just be going to auction. So, but if that was not a auction.com, what would actually be here is it'll be listed. It'll have the owner's information along with the owner's contact information. And now you just reach out to the owner and say, hey, I see your home here at blah, blah, blah street. Is that house still available? You know, and then the same things that apply that you were going to do on Facebook, the same questions you're going to ask on Craigslist, same questions. All these things apply. These are just all different platforms that you can go do the exact same thing on. Now, and when you want to find renters as well, you just go over to the renter tab here. This is just so because you can pretty much see the layout of what all you need to do. Scroll down, click on it, scroll down to that point there, and now you have all the information right there. Go over here to rent. And we're going to do this. So same thing, it's already looking in the exact city that we're in, but now we want to find properties that are for rent. Why for rent? Because sometimes properties have been on the market and for whatever reason, the properties did not sell. And so now the owner is left with the only option that they've been told by their agent, or is to go ahead and rent the property. So these are some options that you can have while you can find it. And then ultimately too, there's a such thing as tired landlords. Sometimes landlords have been renting a house for so long and they're just ready to cash out. You're coming to them, you're providing a service that, hey, I want to buy your house. They might say, oh God, thank you. I didn't really want to rent it anyway. And then now you can kind of start and have that conversation. Obviously, conversation will start something simple like, hey, I'm Terrence. I'm a local investor. Hey, I saw your property for rent. But just real quickly, is that house still available? Okay, great. Hey, by chance, I don't know, would you be open to selling it? You know, and then now you can go down that rabbit hole there. Also, too, it's a great way to find another video. But if you want to get into doing creative financing, another way to ask in that same way, hey, would you be open to, a long-term lease? Some ways you can kind of talk to these people with. So that's just something that you can use there for your tidbit there. And same thing here. You're trying to find properties that are not that are going to be owner where you're not trying to find the agent. So you definitely want to try to screen through those. That's definitely one of the things you got to screen through as well. And I thought that they used to have a tag on here. And again, you can obviously search for different keywords as well when it comes to, like you said, furnished short term. So that does apply for other homes as well, fixer uppers and things like that. But when it comes to, they used to have a tab here, I thought, that would allow you to not have to, kind of like Craigslist, where you can move off the any of the properties that are not that are by owner. So this is one of the things. So you can kind of come here and you have to kind of scroll a little bit more, but this is where you can kind of come here and find those properties that are for rent. Speaking of that, pro tip as well, we'll throw that in as a bonus site that you can go to for rent or buyowner.com. You can go and they can Google that, and you can. That's actually a site where homeowners, instead of listing their houses here on Zillow, they have an owner site. You can go there, buy owners, and search for your city and find owners that have properties that are in there. And so this is also a great way to find properties that someone is looking to rent, but just actually might be open to selling. So, hey, I hope I was able to bring you guys some great information here. With that's actually a wrap for me. So hope that you got a lot out of this, being able to use those three different options to be able to find properties and find those for free. So as you can see here, and that's, you don't have to, and that's free. because you don't have to skip trace any of these leads. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to drive for dollars to find these leads. These are leads that will just come, that are just sitting right there with the owner's contact information already right there. So it doesn't get more free than that. Just takes your time, energy, and effort to go and scrape the list, call these people, see what's kind of going on, seeing if they're actually open to selling. So that's a little tip for you there. Hope you guys enjoyed everything. And again, if you haven't already, comment down below if you got any questions about the video. Other than that, hit that like button for me as well. Subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you again soon. And we do have a video here back if you're kind of new to this. There is a video here. I'll probably link it up here that talks about wholesaling, the whole process of how to do it from A to Z. I'll link that video here for you as well. So if you want to go back and watch that previous video, that should be able to definitely help you out going forward. So you guys go have a great day. Be blessed. Thank you for joining me.